In another video, we talked about adding prefixes to verbs to change or add nuances to their meaning, and how this creates a perfective verb. We also touched on how to create an imperfective that preserves that additional nuance. We'll call these secondary imperfectives. In this video, let's go into more detail about what that looks like. But first, I want to reassure you that this will not be a long list of stuff that you need to memorize now. Keep in mind, we'll be talking not about absolute rules, but rather about some patterns and tendencies that will help you recognize related words and build your vocabulary. With forms like перечитывать, we just added this infix, iv. There were no other changes, and that's a pretty common pattern. But often there will be a change in the root. Let's look at some examples and see if you can notice what's different. From заработать, we get зарабатывать. From перемотать, we get перематывать. From рассмотреть, we get рассматривать. From перезвонить, we get перезванивать. Notice how the o in the root becomes a in the secondary imperfectives. This almost always seems to happen when the o in the root was not stressed, but it can also happen when it is stressed, as in заработать and зарабатывать. You might also have noticed that sometimes we're spelling this infix iv with the letter e. This makes sense because the consonants at the end of the roots in рассмотреть and перезвонить are soft, so we need to use the letter e to reflect that. Now let's look at 6 more examples to get a sense of another common type of change. I'll give the perfective first and see if you can find the pattern when we create these secondary imperfectives. From оплатить, we get оплачивать. From заморозить, замораживать. From выздороветь, we get выздоравливать. From приспособить, приспосабливать. From отопить, отапливать. From огородить, огораживать. Now what do you notice here? Along with the change of o to a in the root, we're seeing consonant mutations. That is, the last consonant in the root is changing, and the changes might be familiar from the ya forms of similar e conjugation verbs, like платить, я плачу, where t alternates with ch. Возить, я вожу, where z alternates with ж. Готовить, я готовлю, v alternates with vl. Любить, я люблю, купить, я куплю, водить, я вожу. These same mutations can appear in the secondary imperfectives as well. This may seem pretty technical, but it can be really helpful in making educated guesses about words that you may not have seen before. I'll give 3 quick examples how you can use this. Let's say you're not feeling well and a friend sends you this card. Even if you haven't seen this verb before, if you remember how a can alternate with o and the vl can replace v, that may help you see the connection between здоров, healthy, and this verb, выздоравливать, выздороветь. Выздоравливай скорее, get well soon. If you've been out picking berries and you're not sure what to do with them all, what is this webpage suggesting? Again, thinking of how a can alternate with o and zh can alternate with z can remind us of мороз, frost. So with this in mind and the context, we can guess that замораживать, заморозить means to freeze. And if you've learned the verb поворачивать, to turn something, then you might recognize what this song by Машина времени is about. Новый поворот, a new turn, about changes coming in life. Will they be for the better or not? It's hard to know. Summing up, when we create a perfective verb using a prefix that adds to the meaning of the verb, we can use an infix to create an imperfective that preserves that new meaning. We spell this infix iv after a hard consonant, iv after a soft consonant, or in accordance with the 7-letter spelling rule. 2 other changes are common when creating these secondary imperfectives. A vowel o in the root often changes to a, as in the perfective перезвонить, imperfective перезванивать. And we often see consonant mutations, changes, like those found in the ya form of e conjugation verbs, perfective оплатить, but imperfective оплачивать, perfective заморозить, but imperfective замораживать.